Welcome to Wages of Cine, 12 Days of Christmas. I'm Dan Beck.
I'm Stephen Gillum.
And this is a bonus review.
Yeah.
So we watched...
It's a fan film.
It's about 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Found it on the YouTube, yeah.
And we shared it on our
Facebook
page.
The day it came out. It's like, what is this? This is awesome. We got to share it with the world.
So a little bit about this fan film with apparently now, flash forward some years, the Magui have had some kind of medication that will keep them from being destroyed in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
They can eat after midnight, and you can get them wet.
Yeah.
And this keeps them from doing all the bad things that would happen if you did those things.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there's a guy that is kind of the recall guy. He goes around and picks up the defective ones that the medication doesn't work on. And that's where it starts. He's at a diner.
Mm-hmm.
Won't give too much away because you should watch it, but that's kind of the setup. You get that in the first minute. They have a little commercial that gives all the infomercial that gives all that information. And
at that point, I was starting off. I was like, I'm already apprehensive. I'm like, fan film, Gremlins, okay. And it started off. I'm like, is it gonna be kind of infomercially? Is this kind of a joke? But that's just a little segue into it. And then it goes into a really well shot, cool music.
Yeah, and that when I first started watching it, it was a little frame inside of the full frame. And a lot of times on YouTube, when people don't get their whenever
your
they
ratio
do render their thing out, sometimes it's smaller than the actual frame.
Yeah.
And it's a bad upload, or your codecs or whatever aren't right.
Sign that you didn't know what you were doing.
Exactly. And when I saw that, I was like, oh no. But yeah, after the infomercial, it goes in. That's one thing that I really liked about it. It looked good.
Yeah, it looked really good.
And it looked like it was a sort of a throwback to how things looked in the 80s. Had the music was sort of 80s inspired.
Yeah, it definitely had the Christmas Gremlins song, I think, started it off. And
I love the opening part of that when you see the Christmas tree or the TV and the Christmas stuff as it's going down. That was pretty cool. So you were saying something about the person that did the Gremlins themselves.
Yeah, one of the makeup artists was on Face Off. That I remember I'd watched him on there. I don't think he won, but he did a really good job. And I watch him on Facebook. He does a lot of live builds and stuff where he does his making masks and all that. But he was there behind the scenes doing the animatronic
puppeting
type stuff. Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it too. They weren't really CG. They were practical puppets.
Yeah, everything was practical, which was great.
And the Gremlins, like the traditional Gizmo kind of gremlin, those looked a little different. They weren't exact.
Yeah.
But when you got to the ones after, whenever things go awry and they've changed, those look more like the original, more so than the furry ones.
The Mogwai?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their own unique spin on it. They're kind of like a whitewash on them.
Yeah.
But it's like dog breeders, that's I imagine the Mogwai at that point's been bred to a certain look and all that, and they've got probably different breeds of Mogwai. There was and they did a good job just making, which gremlin is which.
Yeah, they were distinctive, you could tell. Yeah, and I mean they had a lot of effects in that. They have gunshots, and they had those effects look good. And they have things breaking. There's just a lot of. There's an explosion too at some point.
Yeah.
And the explosion looked good. There, everything that they did in it impressed me for it to just to be a fan film. I don't know what their budget was or who was really involved in the writing and everything, but even with the writing, you saw a character arc in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel contrived.
The behind the scenes, there's a video on their YouTube as well that has the behind the scenes, and it showed that there was a little bit of, looked like, money towards production. I'd asked on their YouTube page, I was like, was this all shot in one night? Because it's all at night. They said it was 3. They shot it over 3 nights,
Okay.
which is impressive. That's still a lot to get done in that amount of time.
Yeah, because they're like some of the effects are they're effects, and the effects take a lot longer to do than
just setting up the gremlin for a shot. You have to have 2 controllers and making sure the thing stays where it's. Probably a lot goes into it. Probably hours just to get going before you can give that shot. Then you got to do several takes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've watched it several times. I'll probably watch it a few more.
So did I. And that's when we had posted it. I hadn't watched it, and you kept asking me, "Did you watch it? Did you watch it?" And I was like, "No, I haven't watched it yet." Yes, I'll watch it.
It's probably been my favorite Christmas, new Christmas themed movie of the season so far.
Yeah, but it was a surprise to me. Obviously, you found it, but
I was on Facebook one day, and one of the horror pages I follow had posted it. I'm like, what?
Right.
So
yeah. So it wasn't like Kung Fury or something like that. It had a big marketing push. Oh, this is going to be out. You need to watch it. And this just kind of like under the radar. Here it is. Just kind of spread. So I don't know what kind of views or anything it had, but
it's got to be doing good.
Yeah, you need to check it out if you haven't checked it out, because you don't have to invest a lot of time, but it's worth the investment. Even if it was a little longer, it would still be worth the investment.
It'll make you want more.
Yeah, because it's a story that's well told, and it looks good. It sounds good. If you like 80s retro stuff, you're gonna love that part of it. And by the end of it, you would like to see like a whole throwback. Or, a new movie like that that just has throwbacks in it.
Maybe he'll be hired for Gremlins 3.
That would be awesome. I would be on board for that, because with what they did with that, I would definitely want to see that.
So
yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out. So if we haven't sold you on it, then you're not going to be sold on it at all.
Are we going to have more 12 Days of Christmas left?
I guess this depends on when it comes out.
Yes, there will be.
There will be.
So stay tuned for more 12 Days of Christmas.
Yep. And have a happy new year if we don't see you before the end of the year.
And now back to your Western favorites, already in progress.